Right, well, good morning. Welcome to Elevenses again. It's the 6th of September. We're into autumn. It's a lovely sunny day here in London. A little bit chilly compared with the heat wave, which is now distant memory. But it looks like a nice morning for biking today. So, what have I got for you on the show this morning? Well, the Weston beach race has been postponed. The classic motorcycle mechanics show Stafford is going ahead, though. A South African bike copper's hands-off ride lands him in hot water. The Japanese Big Four are now testing their shared battery platform. Super Soco are launching a affordable electric 125 equivalent scooter, and Piaggio are evaluating 300 to 400cc Aprilia. Okay, so on the first story, we have, let me get the picture set up. I forgot to do this again. One day I'll remember to do this nice and early. Just involves pressing a few buttons. That's should be it. Western Beach Race. Yeah, you probably heard of the event. It draws big crowds to the Somerset coastal town of Weston-super-Mare. Although the race obviously takes place out on the beach, it's a big earner for the town itself. It's been held for 37 years, and the 2020 event was due to take place between Friday the 9th and Sunday the 11th of October, so just over a month's time. But unfortunately, it's the latest big spectator event to fall victim to the coronavirus pandemic. The organisers, who are RHL Activities and North Somerset Council, have rescheduled what will be the 38th running of the event to the 1st to the 3rd of October next year. Obviously, the dates actually have to coincide with the right tides, if you think about it. They can't run the race while the tide is in. The press release says that the organisers and the council have been working with the National Outdoor Events Association to try to run the race. But they say despite major investment in additional infrastructure and services to comply with COVID guidelines, the decision has been taken to postpone it because of the need to protect residents and visitors against the spread of the virus. And I'd wager that events following the near 500,000 visitors to Sturgis in the US might have had something to do with that decision. RHL say they've worked to secure the new dates. Councillor Don Davis, leader of the council, said that postponing an internationally renowned event has been a difficult decision. We appreciate that local business will be disappointed to lose such a major event. We felt we had no choice. The council's priority is to keep people safe and to reduce the spread of infection. We fully recognise the importance of the beach race and the benefits it brings to our local economy, and look forward to hosting the event in Weston again next year. The deputy leader of the council, Mike Bell, says that as a previous volunteer, he's very sorry the year's event cannot go ahead, but he says it's the right decision, and I'm looking forward to seeing the event back in the future. The director of RHL Activities, Gareth Hockey, he says, I'm devastated. The work that's gone into the preparation for this beach race, both by my team and our contractors, to have the event postponed now has completely floored me. Yeah, okay. So that's unfortunately one date for your diary that you can cross out. But here's one that you can add to it. And this is the Classic Motorcycle Mechanics Show, which is going to go ahead in October at the Stafford County Showground. That'll be over the weekend of the 10th and the 11th of October. It'll feature 900 plus traders, dealers, and auto jumble stands, and it says offering a wealth of parts and spares for every project. I wonder if they have a exhaust system for my classic CB250 RS. There will also be club stands, live action. The Bonham's Autumn Sale Auction will be going ahead there as well. There'll be classic competition machines and guest stars from iconic eras of motorcycling. Now, normally the show would see around 30,000 visitors, but only advanced ticket holders will be admitted this year. So the numbers will be strictly limited on the day, and that will allow for social distancing to be implemented. So if you want to attend this Morton's event, you can buy a ticket for either Saturday or the Sunday via the website staffordclassicbikeshows.com. Let me just pop that up for you so that you can find it easily. So that's a date for your diary if you want to head out to Stafford. It's the 27th show. It's grown in popularity. It covers emerging and modern classics from the 70s and 80s, and even from the 1990s. Perhaps I should have kept my old FZ 750. Okay. Other news. Where are we? Yes, South Africa. A traffic officer is in hot water. Thanks to letting go of his handlebars whilst riding on blue lights. He's now facing disciplinary proceedings after he was caught on camera. Not too surprisingly, the video went viral almost immediately. In the video, he appears to be stretching his arms and then, as people have put it, seemingly jamming to a tune on the move. Anyway, he is going to be hauled up in front of a disciplinary hearing for failing to set a good example to local motorists. The Road Traffic Management Corporation tweeted, "Immediate disciplinary action is being taken against our National Traffic Police member. Lack of discipline will not be tolerated. Traffic officers are expected to set a good example to other road users and not flout regulations." And a spokesperson said he will most probably face charges of bringing the organisation into disrepute. So rather unfortunate for the gentleman concerned. All right, okay, what else to say? Well, just to let you know, the courses are still up. They're up and running. I'm taking bookings now for the second half of September. So if you are interested in getting a course in while we still have some good weather, now is the time. I've just received this feedback from a course I ran yesterday for Jo, and she said, having just done a confidence builder as I struggle with tight corners, roundabouts and cornering, had a great couple of hours, went away feeling confident on the tight turns and the corners and the roundabouts. I would highly recommend Kevin. He was very patient and explained things clearly and demonstrated, so it was easy to follow. Definitely book again for another course. So, okay, there we are. You can get a course with me if you turn up on the doorstep, as it were. But if you're too far away from an on-road session, don't forget you can also book up an online coaching session. And these are inexpensive and they will cover a range of subjects, and you can roll your own, as it were, if you have a specific problem. And don't forget, there are also the many different items that you can find on my coffee page, where there are hundreds already better biking articles and more going up all the time. Okay, elsewhere, what do we have? We have the Japanese Big Four. I mentioned this a couple of months ago. They've been working on developing a shared swappable battery platform for electric motorcycles. The consortium was quietly announced last year. It went a little bit under the radar. I certainly didn't spot that piece of news, and it was only during the lockdown period, when there was a sudden demand for electric motorcycles, that I actually heard about it at all. There's been little news so far, but an update has been announced just in the last few days, which says that the group have now reached the point where they are ready to begin testing their shared swappable electric battery design with real users. And these tests will be carried out at Osaka University. And what will happen basically is that students and staff will be given electric motorbikes to use during the trial, and there will be battery swap stations installed on the campus, as well as in convenience stores around the area. No technical specifications are yet available for these batteries, but it's speculated that they may well be based on the swappable battery packs that are already built into Honda's PCX and Bentley electric scooters. As the managing executive officer and head of motorcycle business operations at Honda, Noriaki Abe, explained, as a result of repeated collaboration studies amongst the four domestic motorcycle companies, we are able to collaborate with the Eian Osaka trial to verify the common specifications of the batteries. We're aware there are still issues to be solved in the spread of electric motorcycles, and will continue to work on improving the usage environment for our customers in areas where each company can cooperate. The trial is expected to last a year. They'll be looking at the effectiveness of designs and the swapping station, battery swaps technology to look towards a production version. I think it's pretty obvious that these batteries are not intended to go into sort of top of the range electric bikes. I showed you a sort of a Kawasaki a few days ago, which was a sort of 300 Ninja, which had got an electric motor and battery wedged into the frame. I doubt that you'll be seeing swapped batteries for those kind of bikes, and certainly not the sort of high performance ones which are bound to come out of all the 4 factories, for the simple reason that the sheer size of the batteries on those bikes needed to push them to 100-mile-per-hour plus speeds and 100-mile plus ranges is simply too big to be manhandled. You certainly can't haul the battery out of a zero, for example, and plug it in by carrying it up a set of stairs. But I think the Japanese have realized that they are somewhat behind the curve in the development of short-range electric scooters and light motorcycles, and particularly the kind of new utility bikes that I featured over the last couple of months. And I think they've realized that they're facing actually serious competition here from new manufacturers in China, India, Indonesia, and even, as we've seen, the US and Europe. So whilst they will almost certainly have specific designs for the bigger, more high-performance premium machines, it makes enormous sense to actually develop technology together, because you can still use that technology in the bigger batteries, but then also to have that range of drop-in batteries for the more utilitarian machines. And basically what it'll allow is these motorcycles to be charged in the house or in the office without requiring any home garaging or street level infrastructure, something that is still missing for the average person. And on that note, today's final item features another motorcycle, the Super Soco CPX125 equivalent. They call it a maxi scooter. Now, Super Soco is a brand that nobody'd ever heard of before lockdown, but they were quick to jump in the UK and start to push their bikes, and they're expanding their range with this scooter. It has the capacity for two 60-volt 45 amp hour batteries, which when installed together gives the machine a range of up to 80 miles and top speed of around 56 miles per hour, and that should give it the ability for riders to use it to commute into towns along faster roads. So if you've got a range of, even on one battery, if you've got a guaranteed range of 30 miles, that puts somewhere like, I don't know, Slough or something, easy range of central London. So the batteries are removable, and the key point is that, again, they can be charged from a mains socket. So you can plug them in after you've arrived at work and basically double your range that way. And they will charge in just 3.5 hours as well. So you don't even need to do a full day at work. The bike itself is fairly standard fare. Telescopic front forks up front, monoshock at the rear, fairly standard seat height, 760 millimeters, so anybody should be able to ride it. But the impressive thing is that they've got the weight down on these electric bikes quite dramatically, 107 kilos, or if you think in pounds, that's about 230 pounds, which is really not very heavy for a scooter. But the real appeal of these bikes, which you can get in black, grey and silver if you're interested, is that it is learner legal. It can be ridden on just a CBT and a pair of L plates. It should be in dealers later this month. Andy Fennick, the chief exec over here, or in the UK, he said, "We're really excited to be finally launching the CPX. It was unveiled for the UK market at Motorcycle Live in 2019 and has been our most asked about model." And he basically says that it's a nimble, cost-effective solution for those looking to socially distance and discover the benefits two wheels offer. And it won't break the bank either. The base model with just one battery, inclusive of the OLEV plug-in motorcycle grant, will set you back £3,599 at the moment. which actually is fairly competitive with some of the petrol engine scooters. If you want the two battery version, it goes up a little bit, goes up to 4,699 with the plug-in grant. But again, that's not going to break the bank. And last but not least, over to the world of petrol again. And Piaggio are apparently evaluating the need to come up with a competitor in the 300 to 400cc market. Now, at the moment, their only bike is the GPR 250, which is a China-specific machine and not seen anywhere else in the world. So it's likely that initially, at least, these bikes will appear in Indonesia and India, and they'll go head-to-head with machines like the KTM 390, TVS Apache 310, Kawasaki 250 Ninja 4-cylinder, which I also featured, Chinese build Benellis, which I've also talked about, rather than the more traditionally styled Royal Enfields, which are also big sellers. Styling-wise, it's anticipated that these bikes would outwardly be a mini RSV4 and a Tuono. The company's chairman and MD, Diego Graffi, confirmed the development earlier this week, saying apparently, this is what he said, that the 300 to 400cc segment looks more juicy. Piaggio themselves didn't divulge any further details, and whilst press reports suggest it could be several years before any such machines see the light of day, as it looks like they would have to develop a specific engine for the bikes. In the light of increased personal demand for public transport for social distancing purposes, and also the economic malaise that's followed coronavirus, it's not unreasonable to expect plans to be accelerated. Now, could we see these bikes in Europe? As usual, who knows? The interesting thing is, as I've observed before, that the developed markets like the US and also some parts of Europe are opening up to the idea of high performance, small displacement, premium motorcycles. Entry-level sports bike market is well catered for by the Yamaha R3. There's also the Kawasaki Ninja, which is now stretched to a 400. There are also interesting mini-adventure bikes like the Versys 300, and there is that BMW as well, the 310. Of the Indian-built machines, the KTM Dukes and their derivatives are already here. The Husqvarna, which is based on the Duke 390 engine, the Svart Pillen 410 and the Vit Pillen 401, I should say, are already both here, built in India, sold in Europe. The TVS Apache RR310 is the base model for the ostensibly German BMW G310R. So all these bikes are already built in India, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility that we will be seeing these in the UK and Europe at some point in the future. All right, okay, that's it for today. Don't forget those courses are still on offer. You can head over and book my courses on my website, survivalskills.co.uk. Next Wednesday, I'm going to be taking a couple of days off, so I'll be doing a recording, but as August heatwave is already a distant memory and several mornings have been a bit nippy, even if the forecast is good for next week, what I'll be doing is starting to think about winter riding generally. So I did promise you an article on winter riding gear and electric clothing in particular, and I will run that next week as a recording for you. And I'll tell you why heated clothing is the best way to stay warm on a bike, bar none. And trust me, I've tried every which way. All right, okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I trust that we will see you again on Wednesday for the heated clothing special. Thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.